Hi everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we will be talking about Mining Colony, and this is put out by Dr. Finn Games. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out.
Alright, so in this game, the Earth has ran out of resources, which is a tragedy. Travesty? What's a tragedy?
Tragedy and a travesty. What did you say?
Travesty.
Travesty.
I don't know what I said, but
it's a bad
it's
thing.
One of those things. And no resources, you've got to go somewhere else to another planet to mine for these resources. And that's what you're doing in Mining Colony. You are playing against other players who are also trying to have the best mining colony. You're going to draft some tiles, you're going to draft spaceships and workers and gems onto your little board. Whoever has the most points wins. Let me show you what it looks like on the table. All right, here's our board set up for Mining Colony. Over here we've got our credits, which is our money that we're going to use. We've got our workers, our spaceships, and our outposts. Up here we have our crystals, as well as the science stations. We've got overbuild tokens over here, and then we've got our resource cards. So that's how each round is going to start. We're going to flip over one of these resource cards, and we're going to fill out this part of the board, matching the resources this says to do. So over here in the number 1 spot, we would put a yellow and a purple crystal, along with one of these large tiles. This one just gets one of these square tiles. This one over here is going to get a white crystal, along with a blue worker and a little rectangle tile. Here's a little small 1 tile. We've got a black ship, a green crystal, and a white crystal. This is the setup for a 4-player game. Alright, so then we're going to draft those different resources. Basically, we have these excavation decks here. You're going to shuffle it up. You're going to take the top 3 cards off of the top of the deck. You're going to look at them, and you're going to choose one to play. And the order it's going to be determined is whoever plays the highest card gets to choose first. So if we really, really want something, we might want to play that 42. If we don't care what we get, we might just play the 2 to get rid of it. And if we have some idea we can narrow it down, we might play the 18. The reason that's important is not only does it choose in what order you get stuff, but then also later on at the end of the game, you're going to get points based off of what cards that you didn't use. There is 12 cards in the deck, but we're only going to play 10 rounds. So at the very end of the game, you're going to add up your 2 leftover cards. Whoever has the most amount of excavation points on those cards is going to get some victory points. So you don't always necessarily want to play your biggest card. Alright, so once you've gotten your items, you're going to put them on your personal board. So let me show you that now. Alright, so here is our player board. It is double-sided. There's like an advanced side as well as the kind of the basic side. So this bottom section here in the yellow, that's kind of a holding pattern. So that bottom section there, this is where you're going to hold your credits. You can hold up to 5 credits. At the end of the turn, if you have more than that, you have to get rid of some. You also get a chance to hold 1 of the spaceships, 1 gem, and 1 of the workers without actually being assigned to a spot. This dark orange spot up here, that shows a developed area. So when you add on tiles, those are also going to be that dark orange, showing that it's developed. So once an area is developed, then you can start adding things to it. So let's say, for instance, one of the things we drafted was a green gem. A green gem can go on one of these green resource gem housing spots. There are also some rainbow spots up here. This can hold any color of gem, which is nice because one of the things we're going to try to do is we're going to try to build some of these research stations. Those are only going to get built if there is 2 gems of the same color, both in developed spots, with a blank developed spot between them. Then you can add in one of these science stations. Basically, everything that we add to our board is going to be worth points at the end of the game. However, the buildings, such as the science station or like an outpost like that, is going to be worth 2 points instead of just the normal 1. So those are really important to get built, and plus they're free essentially. They don't cost anything other than just having lined everything up just the right way. Alright, so similar to those science stations is the outposts. Now the way those are going to work is we need to have a worker in one of these domes, and then we need to have a matching color of a spaceship in one of these little landing pads, and then we need to have a blank developed spot between them. If you have that, then you can build an outpost for free on that spot. Now there are a limited number of those outposts and those science stations, so it's kind of a race to get those built because there's not going to be enough for everyone. Alright, so the credits are really nice. What the credits do is they allow you to buy some things. So those overlay tiles, these are really nice because what they do is they allow you to build something on a blank spot. So now there's one of those domes that can house workers right there. Now, I'm not sure if I said it or not, but all tiles do have to touch one another or be starting off of that main starting row there. So we could put that there, for instance. Let's say we had a blue worker in that dome, and let's say we had a blue ship there. but we do not have a blank spot in between. So that's another thing that those overlay tiles can do for us. There's actually blank ones, so you can cover up that, and then you'd be able to allow to put that outpost right there. So how do you get those credits? Basically, you get those when you have something that you can play, but however, you don't have the space for it. So for instance, let's say this landing pad was full, but somewhere throughout the game, I'll say this one's full too. Let's say we ever get another one from the drafting. This one we would discard, and we would get 1 credit for it. And we would put it there. But also works for tiles. So for instance, let's say for whatever reason we couldn't place this. This has 5 squares in it. It takes up 5 spots on the board. If we could not place this on the board, we could discard it, and we would get 5 whole credits. Also, these overbuild tiles are nice, but they do have to go on developed spots. They cannot just go out on these undeveloped spots. They do have to go onto one of the dark orange spots. Alright, so at the end of the game, you are going to get points for all of your gems, workers, ships. You're going to get 1 point per each, but you're going to get 2 points for your science stations and your outposts. You're also going to get 1 point for every 2 of your credits that you have. However, you're going to lose points for every open spot you have, and it's in that light orange. So you really want to build as many tile spots as possible. And then, like we talked about, you are going to get points based off of how many points you have left over on these excavation tiles, or excavation cards. Add that up, and whoever has the most points wins the game.
So one of the things that I enjoyed about this game was just the production of it. In terms of, I like how small it was. I could have easily seen this game like 10-20% bigger, and it would have been fine. The card's a little bit bigger, the board a little bit bigger, the pieces a little bit bigger, but honestly I really liked this just little size that it was, and I like how that grew. I like how it looked with everything on it, and I just thought it was really like portable, and I don't know, it was cute for me, but it wasn't just like a cutie game. It wasn't a cutesy game. I just thought the size was cute.
I liked how the different resources came out, and then you kind of had to use those excavation cards, kind of like almost like initiative. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Like initiative. You're trying to, whoever has the highest initiative goes first, and I really thought that was cool. And also the way that you had to hold some of the cards back to maybe try to get some points at the end of the game as well. I like that balance, and I like that's a cool choosing mechanism.
So I thought it was fun, the outpost and the science stations. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I like how depending on the number of players that those are limited, so not everybody will be able to get one. So I like how you're kind of competing and you're racing to be able to get to this, and then it makes those initiative cards even more important because you know what other players have on their board. You know if you're fighting for the same thing, and you know if something comes out and 2 people want it, like you'd be willing to try for that harder and forego the points at the end of the game to try and get this. And so I really liked that those were limited, because then it wasn't like a casual I'll get things as I get them, but it was I need to get this and get it before Ryan.
Yeah. And that showed too in our win to loss ratio. I really like the overlay tiles, those circular tiles that you play on top of the developed areas. Those are a cool way of being able to modify things that you've drafted, because it's kind of hard to get what you need to exactly set it up. But if you're willing to pay for it, you can kind of build whatever it is, whatever setup you need in order to get a science station or to get an outpost or whatever it is. I thought that was just those overlay tiles were really cool.
All right, so I thought that Mining Colony was a fun, fast, quick, thinky little game, and I enjoyed it. And I'm also undefeated.
Yeah. Who's counting?
Me. I am counting. And I'm undefeated.
Yes. I think that she stacked the deck in her favor. I think she put
There's only 10 cards.
Well, I think that you probably went through all the decks and pulled out all the highest cards from all of them. I have no evidence for this.
Literally impossible.
It's not impossible.
You see all the colors, and we have the exact same one.
It's suspicious. She could have printed her own deck.
Ryan takes losing very well.
No, okay, that's the thing. I have lost every single time we've played this game, and I still love it. So that just tells you how strong it is. That it's one of those games that you can come back to, try different things out. There is a kind of that B-side board with the more advanced board. Laying the tiles on that is much trickier. Those little small 1x1 squares become a lot more important on that side of the board. I thought that was... it's just a fun game all around. I would have loved to have seen more of those research cards, or those resource cards. So that way, like in a 2-player game, when we play a 2-player game, we use the same number 1 and number 2 over and over again. So we kind of have a pattern that we see. We know what's coming up. What are the 10 things we might be looking at? So more of those cards would have been cool. But at the same time, it's probably really balanced.
Yeah.
What do I know? And no matter what, it was a blast. So we really enjoyed Mining Colony.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to find us in all the places. You can find us on Facebook under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. You can find us on Instagram under Ryan and Bethany. And you can chat with us on Twitter under Ryan and Bethany 1.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.